Prime News, I'm Mike Galanos. Let's get to it with this story. When you thought the world couldn't be any more dark and any more sick, there is this. Just an hour ago, a woman, a mom, Sunday school teacher. There she is, officially charged with killing an innocent 8-year-old girl, little Sandra Cantu. Her body stuffed in a suitcase, thrown in a pond in Tracy, California. Well, Melissa Huckabee did not enter a plea. She cried, teared up, lip quivered as the judge read the charge. Now, this was the mother of Sandra's 5-year-old playmate, someone she trusted. And now, along with murder, there are special circumstances, rape with a foreign object, and lewd and lascivious conduct. Listen now as Huckabee's best friend from high school talks to ABC's Good Morning America and says she wishes she could have talked with Melissa Huckabee.
One phone call to call her, see how she was. And that's really hard to know I can't go back.
All right, joining me now to talk about this, Don Clark, former FBI special agent in charge. Been following this since day one, as has Anita Kay, defense attorney, former prosecutor. And with us by phone, reporter Jennifer Wadsworth of the Tracy Press. Jennifer's done great reporting on this, and she was in the courtroom for the arraignment. Jennifer, good to have you back. Jennifer, what was it like in the courtroom?
It was quiet, and it was a quick hearing, and Melissa was very emotional. Her lip was quivering the whole time. She sobbed when the judge read the words, rape, murder. When he read Sandra's name, she couldn't control herself. Her face, she winced and she sobbed.
Was Sandra's family there?
I saw her auntie and uncle, and I didn't see anyone else. They didn't show any reaction.
No,
they were just sort of.
How about Melissa Huckabee's family? Anyone there?
I saw her dad, Brian Lawless. I couldn't see his reaction from where I was sitting, though.
Jennifer, obviously we know the charges now.
Yeah.
Do we know anything more about the case against Melissa Huckabee? Because that's what we want to know, a timeline. What did she allegedly do to Sandra Cantu, where and when?
Well, police haven't said exactly where it took place, but I heard it reported that it was, I guess Sandra was killed at the church out there. And then police have said that it all happened within hours of Sandra's disappearance. So even before she was reported missing, they said Sandra was already dead. So.
Okay, so
yeah.
that's and I'm sure we'll get more details as time goes on.
Yeah, as the trial goes on. Yeah.
Okay, Jennifer, thanks again. Hang tight. Don, let's bring you in on this. So now we have the special circumstances, hard for you to even speak of. Rape with a foreign object. Why these charges now, you think, Don, and not when the arrest was originally made?
Well, I don't think at the time of the arrest, I think they needed to get her in custody. So put a charge down that you know that's going to stick with you and go with that. But now they've been continuously 24/7, no doubt in my mind, Mike, digging for more and more information. And I would bet you anything that a lot of this came from a lot of background. Somebody had to go back and start looking in the background. These things, there always has to be a first, but at this point in a person's life, it's probably not.
Anita, we talk about the special circumstances. Tell us legally what that means in California.
What it means here is she could be eligible for the death penalty. So you need to allege special circumstances, and they're specifically horrific circumstances, such as what we've heard here. And those allow the prosecutor to go forward on a death penalty or life in prison. So they have to allege that now, but they don't have to make the absolute decision right now that they're going to seek death.
Okay, Anita, let me get your take on this. Just her reaction, did that surprise you at all? What do you make of it? Again, as Jennifer mentioned, the quivering lip, and we saw it right there, the emotions that came from Melissa Huckabee.
Yeah.
Well, actually, compared to some of the other people that we talk about, she actually seemed to have a more appropriate response than some of the other people that we see in court. Is she crying because she realizes what she's being charged with? Is she crying because she's sorry for what she may have done? It's just an overwhelming sense of emotion, and we just don't know where it's coming from. Is it remorse, or is it just pure terror of what she's going to be facing now?
Yeah. Don, let's get your reaction as well on the emotions that came from Melissa Huckabee.
Yeah, it's very difficult to tell, but I think the law enforcement, the investigators there are going to be taking a look at that because they may even get some leads from this emotion. And again, I talked earlier about going back in the background to see what type of person was she really like before, and is this a put on? Is it sincere? Is it something that they need to look into to help build their case? And I think they would use that attitude to start trying to build this case even stronger and stronger to give the prosecutors what they need for whatever charges they decide.
You know, as we look again at the the emotions. Let's bring in our psychotherapist, Stacy Kaiser. Stacy, what do you make of it? This is your expertise here.
Yeah, well, it turns out I actually have some expertise in body language, and so when you see a quivering lip, it literally means not knowing what to say, coming out of fear. And so it's hard to know if she's afraid and not knowing how to explain her behavior, or if she's afraid of what's going to come next.
Anita, when you look at this, and again, we're going down the road a little bit, but do you see an insanity plea coming down at some point?
It's a possibility. Now, we don't know a lot about Melissa Huckabee. We kind of know where she's lived in California, and she does have, you know, some prior conviction, I understand, but it's theft related. It's nothing, you know, sexual of a nature such as this. So it is possible, which could be one of the reasons why they didn't have the formal arraignment today, which is you enter a plea of not guilty or guilty. They just continued it. Because if you're going to enter not guilty by reason of insanity, you need to do that rather than just a not guilty. It's possible, yet everything we've seen about her, there's nothing that says, or we would look at and say, insanity.
Mm-hmm. Let's get a call in. Bev in New York. Hi, Bev. Your comment or question here? Bev?
Yes.
Go ahead, Bev.
Yes. I'm just wondering, she has a little girl. Are they going to check to see if maybe she's done anything with her little girl?
Mm.
And are there a lot of women in jail for, I know they are for murdering kids, but for molesting little girls? You just never hear of a woman.
No, you're right. And the numbers, and Don, maybe you can help me out on this, but the numbers that I know of, I think it's, of these types of crimes, women are charged, what, 6-7% of the time? So this is really unheard of.
It's very low for women, Mike. And you take, as we were going through this for the last week and a half or so, I don't think any of us even thought about a woman being in this situation. We thought what we usually see, what the high percentages happens to be a male. But the fact is that it's out there. And there's another point here too, Mike, is that they're really going to have to work hard, I think, and that police department has done a great job of trying to build this case in her past history here to see where she is and what type of person that she really is, because there may be a history there somewhere.
Real quick, Jennifer,
Yeah.
do you know, to Bev's question there, do you know if they've looked into any abuse against her own daughter?
Well, I know that her daughter was kept aside most of the time. Actually, we don't know that much about her 5-year-old daughter. It was reported that she was sickly, that she had allergies, and was kept inside, didn't really play outside with the other kids and stuff. So I don't know what's going on with that.
Okay. Don, they're going to be looking at that, though, aren't they?
Yeah, you bet.
Okay.
You bet they are. And when you start hearing sick inside, don't see much of, there's some clues in there, Mike.
Yeah, sure sounds like it. Okay, everyone, hang tight. We're going to be taking more of your phone calls on this. Your comments. It is, you know, it's hard to process. It is hard to process that the mom of a 5-year-old allegedly could do this to the child of another mother. Taking your calls. 1-877-TEL-HLN. More on Sandra Cantu coming up.